Yeah?
Ben.
Uh-huh.
Welcome back.
Oh, is this an ASMR podcast?
This is the ASMR podcast.
This is weirdly related because I'm going to be making ASMR content.
Is that going to be your apartment news?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, then, well, I don't understand. How do we bring it up?
How do I bring what up?
This is the show that we're doing, and it's really, really good. Yeah. Welcome to the show.
It's a show. Wow, this has been the worst cold open we've had so far.
That was pretty good, I thought. That was great. Oh, man. Welcome to Ben and Marshall Do a Podcast. It's the podcast of the Great Scub Do. I'm Marshall.
I'm Ben.
Yes, you are. And we're here to do a podcast. We're going to do a whole thing.
That's true.
At least one of them.
At least a podcast.
We're hoping
to leave here with at least one podcast today.
We might make a baby.
Well, no.
No?
I don't want to make a baby.
At least a podcast.
At least a podcast.
Okay, I'll settle for
I'm down with a podcast, but definitely not a baby.
I'll settle for a podcast. I can work with that.
Yeah, no babies for me, let me tell you.
None of that. I got too much time for that. What? Right here's the news.
Man, you're really on point with these jokes today.
It's going really good, dude. This is our greatest comedic episode yet. Are you ready for the news?
Yes.
Here we go. Christopher Nolan is out there with Tenet, the movie.
Tenet.
Yes. Last whatever episode we talked about how it was indefinitely delayed. Those are two very different words.
Oh, sorry about that, boys.
Oh my
gosh. My cord is kind of being weird right now.
Ding dang sounds. Oh my gosh.
Good enough.
But now he's out here talking about his Tenet movie again because we can't let us forget about it while it's not being released.
Well, I wouldn't want to forget about it.
For sure. I get it. It's just, I don't know. I don't know. I'm just going to read the news. Basically,
do your job.
Christopher Nolan says that Tenet has fewer VFX shots than most rom-coms.
Yeah, I did see that. What is the actual number on it?
Oh, I did write it down, didn't I?
If nothing, well, I guess I don't have my phone on me, but you DM'd me the actual number. So if you go back through our DMs.
On Instagram?
Yeah.
Or,
You've been sending me Christopher Nolan trivia. Also, I want to point out, if you're friends with Marshall, you've definitely subscribed to random art posts in your DMs all the time.
Yeah.
And subpar memes.
They're so good, dude.
Yeah, but they're like Facebook memes.
That's why they're great.
Well, I mean, no.
280
VFX shots. So to give perspective, which I think is also in the infographic, what's like kind of the average amount of
hold on,
of shots in a movie, VFX shots in a movie, or like an action movie or something like that.
This account, Movie Facts, says,
and they can't lie because they're movie facts.
They're movie facts, not movie
they're not
opinions.
Movie opinions. They're not movie.
They're movie realism
about
truths.
They can't lie. It's a fact.
Welcome to Movie Facts, a podcast about movies and facts. And this is no spin zone. We'll do it live. The average typical sci-fi action movie contains more than 1,000 plus VFX shots.
That's a lot of shots that are VFX.
That is
shots.
a lot. And I mean, Nolan is he's always talked about how he wants to do practical everything as much as he can, which is part of why the Dark Knight and the Batman movies look so good.
Right.
Because they're just good, cool action movies with good, cool set pieces that are real.
Yeah, there's a lot of fix it in post mentality because, I mean, fixing it in post, it works. The people are good at their job. What can I say? The VFX artists, they're very talented people.
But how do you compare a real flipping truck with a fake flipping truck?
Right. It's just the uncanny valley because it's not that it looks bad if it's done VFX wise a lot of the time. And granted, there are lots of VFX shots that are done perfectly.
Yes.
But for a lot of that kind of stuff, it's just there's some uncanny thing that it's not 100% right. And when you see it done right, when you see it done live, it doesn't take you out. There's no hesitation. There's nothing that's going to bring you out of that narrative sense.
Yeah, and the uncanny valley, for those who aren't listening, is when the closer you get to looking like a truck. For those
who aren't listening?
The closer your visual effect gets to looking like a truck without looking perfect, the weirder your truck looks.
Man, you are just on fire today.
I'm so funny, dude.
Yeah, all right.
Oh, that's news number one. News number two, Exclusive.
Oh, exclusive to the Ben and Marshall Do a Podcast.
Well, it was exclusive to whoever I got this from.
No, it's exclusive to us.
Yes, we are the only one who knows this. Grant Morrison, famous comic book writer, does a lot of famous comic books in the past, says his and Ezra Miller's Flash script was like Back to the Future. Wow. I don't care.
What?
Yeah, it doesn't.
Can you just say
no
that
one
sentence
cares. Again? Grant Morrison says his and Ezra Miller's The Flash script was like Back to the Future.
Oh. Yeah. Why?
It doesn't. No one cares.
What? Who is Ezra Miller?
Ezra Miller plays the Flash, and no one likes him in the role. And he was co-writing.
In the TV show?
No, people love Grant Gustin.
Okay.
He's the version in Justice League,
right?
With like floppy noodle arms, who falls down all the time.
Got it.
But to be fair, that is the Joss Whedon version, and maybe this casting is perfect when we see what Zack Snyder wanted it to actually be.
Right.
I don't know. I'm super interested to find out because I really just can't stand the guy in general.
Right.
Ezra Miller.
Uh-huh.
But I'm hoping that the Snyder Cut will be really cool. That's what I have to say about that.
Release the Snyder Cut 2035.
2021 actually is when it's coming out.
It's gonna be here someday.
Someday, please. Call Zach. Is it gonna release? I don't know.
Yo, what's up, Zach? Hey, it's your boy Ben Weber. Just had a few questions about your Snyder Cut. How deep was it? Did you have to go to the hospital? Are you okay? Is there anything I can do for you?
Well, it's me, Zack Snyder, and I might sound like George Lucas, but that's just that doesn't. Don't worry about it.
That's kind of odd. I mean, okay. Anyways, go ahead.
Well, the point is that the Snyder Cut was a very deep gash, but it's very important that Jar Jar is the more. I didn't say.
This reminds me of that video that we found of the Bill
impressionist.
If you've seen the great TV show, Nathan For You, which
you probably
I highly
haven't.
suggest,
Yeah.
you probably haven't. It's on Hulu, or at least it was.
Yeah,
it's a Comedy Central show. If you have watched it, you've seen the Bill Gates impersonator, and we were for some reason looking up clips of the Bill Gates impersonator on Nathan For You.
Yeah,
and we stumbled across a video. Probably our second best video that we found, second only to Do Laundromats Make Money?
Oh, second to that?
Yeah.
Not second to Pokemon Go at the Memorial Stadium?
That wasn't that iconic.
Number three, maybe.
I put that number three.
Okay.
We'll talk that. Yeah, don't worry about it. So we found a video of an impersonation of the Bill Gates impersonator from Nathan For You.
Yeah, who's a bad Bill Gates impersonator.
Right, and the impersonation of the bad Bill Gates impersonator was even worse. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to release our own impersonation of the impersonator impersonating Bill Gates impersonator.
The Parish Cut.
The Parish Cut.
Yeah. I want to make my own cut of Justice League. I think everyone has the right to their own version of Justice League, and I think they shall be released.
Everyone has the rights to the movie.
I want the Parish Cut to be released in 2022
Release the
on
Parish
HBO
Cut.
Max.
Make it trend on Twitter,
Release
boys.
the Parish Cut.
Caleb, you got to start something. You got to start something big.
Oh, speaking of
Make
Caleb,
a lot of accounts.
I told Caleb that once he watches all of Batman the Animated Series and Batman Beyond and the movies that are attached to them, that he can come on the podcast and we'll talk about it. And he was like, that's a lot. How much is that? Like, well, there's 4 seasons of Batman the Animated Series at like 26 episodes each, and then there's 3 seasons of Batman Beyond, and there's like 56 episodes of that total, and there's 2 movies that you need to watch. And if you want to be really cool, you have to watch all of Justice League and Justice League Unlimited. And he's like, that's a lot. I'm like, yeah, well, you have to earn your spot on my good show.
Caleb, I'm going to be honest. There's a lot less that you could have done if you would have talked to me first.
Yeah. You could have watched, I don't know, a quarter of Uncut Gems.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
I would be fine with that.
That's a good initiation. That's a hazing.
Dude, I still hate how literally everyone... There's only one thing people say about that movie. I brought it up today. I was
how hot Adam Sandler looks.
Yes.
Yeah.
I brought it up on set today.
Oof.
On my shoot. And it's always the same thing. That movie it was so anxiety inducing.
Yeah. Which
just come up with something else.
Is true.
I don't know. Yeah. I guess for me, it made sense, though. I don't know. I was in it. Maybe I think maybe it's just because I have so much anxiety. I was like, this is normal. What are you guys talking about?
You were just living in your own world.
Yeah, I was just like, oh, this makes sense, bro. I'm tracking, no problem.
Yeah,
there.
It's like Jason Voorhees watching Friday the 13th.
Right.
He's like, I don't understand.
Why did they make a movie out of this, dude?
This is a nice, just romantic comedy.
Right.
I don't understand.
I don't see anything wrong with this.
Yeah.
So, there you go.
I got 4 more pieces of news, dude.
Oh, boy. This is
actually 5 more pieces of news.
Well, holy crap.
I know, dude. Here we go. Disney Oh man, you're gonna be sad about this one. You're a real Disney fanatic, I know.
Yeah.
Disney reportedly has no plans. Actually, this has nothing to do with Disney technically. Disney has
This
reportedly
news just keeps getting better.
It's so good. Disney has reportedly no plans for 4K physical copies of its 20th Century Fox back catalog and more.
Oh no.
Which kind of sucks. Like, there's tons of movies owned by Fox, like classic older stuff, that they're just like, we're not going to make a
We can
definitive
only watch
version
it
of that.
in 1080p. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I mean, but there's like old stuff that belongs to them that
Right.
like they could easily remaster, like total classics.
Right.
Which, you know, it's first world problems, but they just bought this massive catalog of stuff and they're just going to like let it sit in a dusty corner.
Yeah. I have a lot of trouble carrying.
Sure.
Because first off, I'm not a huge Disney movie guy. I haven't watched a lot of the classics. I just never grew up watching them.
Yeah.
So like maybe it means more to other people. Plus, I feel like they've probably all been remastered in HD at this point.
Well, it's not the Disney stuff though. It's
Right.
the Fox stuff that they've bought.
Like what specific titles do you know?
I can't think of like the Alien movies and stuff like that. I don't
Right.
know. That's
I
the
don't know.
only
You
thing
can
I
still
think
watch
of.
them though. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not about the 4K. It's about the story.
Yeah, but it's just a shame that they're like specifically saying we're not gonna like we have gajillions of dollars and we don't have a way to make extra money right now in the pandemic or whatever, and we're not gonna give you these extra movies. I don't know. It doesn't matter.
Good news. On to the next one.
Yeah, the Rick and Morty Star Trek thing is great. Apparently,
What?
there's a Star Trek cartoon that looks like Rick and Morty. It's just that same kind of animation style.
Right.
It's not the same people, and it's about a bunch of red shirts essentially.
I've never watched Star Trek.
Really?
Yeah.
None of it. Any of it.
I mean, I've seen like a few episodes randomly. My grandma's a huge fan.
Interesting. Well,
Yeah.
like one of the jokes is that the red shirts always die. It's because in the
okay.
original series, they were the security guys. So,
Right.
of course, they were the away party that always got
stormtroopers.
killed. Yeah, so Captain Kirk would always be right behind them, and they get killed. And Kirk is like, "Oh
Plot
man,
armor.
that's the damage. Watch out." Hey,
Hey, don't go there. Those people died.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like basically it's not about the people on the bridge, you know, it's not about the
Right.
stars of the show, it's about the people running the
People
actual
in the muck
ship.
and the mud.
Yeah.
Right.
And apparently it's really good. I was very unexpecting that. I was very, very unexpecting
Next
that.
news. We should do a Philip DeFranco segment where we like do it all Philip DeFranco style.
Right into the next one.
Let's jump right into
into
news.
it.
Hey guys, so there's a red shirts and they all
I can't
the Philip
stand
DeFranco
Philly D
challenge. Have you ever
anymore.
done it? You ever
No.
tried it? You ever attempted it? Just trying to get through his intro without stuttering.
Is that a thing?
Yeah.
Uh,
I mean, I don't know if it's a real challenge. I just saw it.
What's up, you beautiful people? I changed it a little bit for our show.
Right. You gotta get that bleep button going.
Oh, I do. Rocksteady is making a Suicide Squad game.
Right. That should be interesting.
Yeah.
What Rocksteady
Rocksteady
has
made
done?
the Arkham games.
Okay.
And this is supposedly going to be first person is what I read. So I don't know what that means.
Interesting.
But I think it's called Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League.
Oh.
And
so
like the promo art they released seems to be like evil Superman
is it in
or
the
something.
vein of like the actual Suicide Squad movie that was recently released?
Hopefully
or?
not, because
Yeah.
it was bad.
Very much so.
Hopefully it's in the vein of the comic books or the James Gunn Suicide Squad movie that is
Right.
yet to release.
Cool.
But that's pretty much all we know about it. There's no information. DC Fandom is coming up, which is their big Comic-Con at home thing that DC is doing with every little piece of everything they have.
Right.
So that's when we're going to get Justice League news and the new Batman
The
game
Snyder
news.
Cut.
Honestly, I'm really excited to see the actual trailer finally, because this thing's coming in early 2021.
Right.
So they've got to be getting close. I mean, I don't know. Zack
Hey,
Snyder's
slap a few
releasing some
VFX
stuff.
shots together, but get a trailer out.
Exactly. That's kind of what they're doing, and that's the majority of what they need to do to finish the movie at this point.
Most trailers are just whatever finalized VFX shots they have
Yeah.
put into a 30-second montage. Next news.
But this one has Batman in it, so it'll be really good. Here's something. The Doc has returned to streaming on YouTube.
On YouTube. A little follow-up
Yeah.
to some of our previous news. Still, no one knows what the F happened.
Yeah, he did his first stream and basically came on and was like, I'm going to stream actually tomorrow. And people
Yeah.
were like, kind of weird.
It's just a
whatever,
car,
I guess.
under
It's
a gas station.
It's like, we watched this for hours.
Yeah.
Thank you, Doc. And then the next day he streamed video games or something. I don't know. I don't watch him. I just like him. And I like him. And
You want to disrespect that, doctor?
I want to disrespect
mean?
that guy, if you know what I mean.
You know what I mean? I want to disrespect him
I'm
in the
going to
most
disrespect
respectful
him.
way possible.
The most respectful disrespect that I can disrespect you, Doc. What's
Yes.
up, Doc?
Anyways, it'll be interesting.
Yeah.
I haven't done too much research into it yet, but from what I've seen, and
He basically just said he still doesn't really have any idea, and
Right.
they're considering legal action
I was going to
against
say
Twitch.
also with that, he might not be able to like disclose all the details
For sure.
because of his legal action that he has to take. But yeah, I mean, I honestly don't know. Like, if it was that bad, don't you think it would have gotten out at this point?
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
It's
Like,
so
like there's
confusing.
no way that like somebody at Twitch or somebody connected to Dr. Disrespect wouldn't have let something slip at
Yeah.
this point. If it was so bad that like they're like, oh, his career is over and he has no hope of doing anything ever
Yeah.
again, it just seems like Twitch got away with one. I honestly think
so
that Twitch is
weird.
killing itself. Like with the like how they're moderating stuff, because you look at like, I mean, the Gundam, I don't know if that's his full YouTube username, but he made a criticism video of Pokimane. Also, maybe I should bring up that news. Two newses, if I can, unless are you done with this newses?
I've got one more.
It's on the YouTube vein. It's on the YouTube topic.
Cool.
So Leafy is here is back.
Yeah.
I don't know if you might be familiar with him. He kind of got like they didn't want him on the platform anymore. He left a long time ago. He was got roasted by iDubbbz. He was the subject of I think the first Content Cop, which was a revolutionary time in YouTube. But now in 2020 the tables have turned and iDubbbz is a giant simp and he has lost his fan base. And now the same fan base is now going over to Leafy's videos. And Leafy, he was coming back with just some regular uploads, some fun little stuff, like, you know, nothing too crazy. And then he dropped a content nuke on your favorite streamer, Pokimane.
That's my favorite streamer.
You're a tier 3 sub,
I'm
are
a
you
tier
not?
27.
Yeah,
Whatever
exactly.
that means.
So he basically came out and so, you know, back to the It's a Gundam, when Twitch. So he made a few months ago, he made a video on Pokimane, kind of doing the same thing that Leafy was doing of like, he made a video calling, so one of her simps, one of her tier 3 subs went homeless because he donated all of his money to Pokimane. So he made a video on that and he was like, this is weird, whatever. And so Pokimane watched like 3 minutes of it live on stream and was like, just like, how could somebody sponsor like this kind of shenanigans? Somebody going at me for 20 minutes calling me a thought, and like, so she went after his sponsors, and then Twitch banned or like suspended him, but didn't do anything to Pokey, even though he like the video wasn't necessarily even about Pokey specifically. It was about the stan who decided to go homeless, and literally he went to outside of Starbucks after he lost, like he was homeless, went to a Starbucks and donated his last $500 on the Starbucks Wi-Fi.
Whoa.
Right.
What?
Yeah. So then, so Leafy comes out with his content nuke and his big, you know, he goes through all the reasons why Pokey's kind of a questionable creator.
Sure.
Because have you ever heard anything negative about Pokey?
I don't really know much at all in general.
She's the good Twitch, you know, the good female Twitch streamer, but it's only because she squashes anything negative that comes out about her and like just tries to get it off the internet. So she went on the Misfits podcast, there's a whole thing, but Leafy basically said Pokimane has a boyfriend and made it trend on Twitter. So Pokimane boyfriend was trending. And so all of these simps who are like donating because they think they're going to have a chance to maybe like have her, you know, touch them in some way.
Yeah.
They're like, they stopped subbing. And so she took a month-long break from Twitch because she's burnt out, even though she's been streaming consecutively for the past 6 years. Which, you know, great. Take
wild.
Take your vacation. I don't care, but it's obviously not what you're saying it's for.
Yeah.
It's because you're getting totally roasted. Like just like it's she's being canceled basically. So because like also she copyright claimed this guy for taking some of her like Fortnite highlights and like putting them in a compilation with other people's Fortnite highlights, like on a, just a top 10 YouTube channel or something, because it wasn't transformative content. Yet on her stream, she's like, there's just hours and hours of her like eating sushi, just watching YouTube videos with no commentary. So it's so hypocritical. And like, so now it's a Twitch versus YouTube thing, because all of the Twitch streamers are coming to back up Pokey because that can benefit them pretty well. And all the YouTubers are like, hey, y'all are jacking our stuff and we have to like deal with all these stringent copyright guidelines, but you guys can just watch any video you want without saying anything. And they're like, well, we're on stream for 6 to 8 hours. What else are we supposed to do? And it's like
entertain your audience.
Yeah. I mean, don't stream for 6 to 8 hours. Like, I mean, I don't know, like, or just find something else to do. Maybe interact with chat, maybe like put some effort in, and if there's going to be dead space, then let it be dead space, or like, maybe find some other creative way to solve that problem.
It's like saying, I got bored.
Content.
Why wouldn't I be stupid and dumb and a jerk?
Why wouldn't I take other people's hard work and just put it on my stream? Yeah. Anyway, so that's a brief overview of the Pokey situation. I'm glad Leafy is back. I used to kind of be a fan back of him, a fan of him back in the day. I kind of towards the end didn't like him as much because of the reasons iDubbbz outlined. He was just straight up like making content to crap on other people.
Sure.
And it was like, at first it was kind of like, this is funny, like it's whatever. But then when he kept doing the same thing over and over again, it was just like, this isn't entertaining. This is just borderline just mean and like attacking people. So I, back in the day, I was like, oh yeah, I agree with iDubbbz. Leafy's a piece of crap. But now he comes back. He's got a whole different vibe. He acknowledges what he messed up on, and he reversed the situation. So 2020 is pretty crazy. But yeah, that's my YouTube drama for the week.
That's pretty wild. What was my last thing? Oh, this is nuts. This is like fresh today.
It's not.
This is crazy.
I doubt that it is a macadamia nut.
Let me just actually pull up this article, because this one, like, this is seriously kind of like insane, and I'm glad that the podcast got pushed to later, because this is as of like today a thing.
Wow. You're welcome, guys. You're welcome.
Nice. This is from Variety, this specific article. DC Universe, DC Comics staff see layoffs amid Warner Media restructure.
Wow.
These are not just like layoffs. These are massive layoffs at like DC Comics and all of their surrounding companies, DC Collectibles, DC Direct, DC Universe. Like, it's nuts. There were early reports that Jim Lee, like the president of DC, had been fired, and that's been proven false apparently.
Right.
But like, if that happened, that would have like absolutely blown my mind. That dude's like comic book royalty. You gonna sneeze or not?
I don't know.
Choose.
For those of you who can't see me,
it's very entertaining.
I feel like I'm like halfway, but I'm not over the hump to
it's
like
been
get
sneeze
a sneeze
face for 30 seconds.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
You know what? We're not gonna sneeze. How about that one?
Okay. I'll take it. DC Comics and streaming service DC Universe have been impacted by parent company Warner Media's corporate realignment, with layoffs at both units. But a source tells Variety that through Warner Media's streamlining efforts, the DC brand will actually be expanding.
Hey, get yourself a job there, drawing some pictures, man.
I would love to work at DC, but like, this is it's insane.
Get Marshall hired at DC 2020.
I'd do it. But it's crazy. All of these.
Caleb,
different,
start a Twitter thing. Make a bunch of bot accounts. You need to have at least 20 or 30. I'll retweet all of them.
Yeah.
It's all good.
Yeah. But there's all these
Caleb's
different
basically already on the podcast. Let's be honest here.
People, these different comic creators that are posting all kinds of stuff about, like, in solidarity with all these people that are getting like laid off just out of nowhere.
Right.
And it's like, that's the thing that I posted to my story with all the different DC logos, was Sean Gordon Murphy's post showing like, this is the legacy of all these years, and this is just happening all of a sudden when we're like honestly like doing really, really well as a business.
Right.
People talk every year about like comics are a dying medium, and it's like actually more popular than ever. Partially because of the movies and for other reasons. People just kind of think that they're sidelined because it's still like a little too nerdy. I would say it's still a
niche audience.
Yeah. But it's also like less of a niche audience than it's ever been.
Right.
That's the thing. It's this weird, it's the same thing with like, I don't know, it's like Hellboy, where he's a very specific character that isn't necessarily a household name, but he's got a gazillion fans, and where do they all come from? Who are these people? It's that kind of thing.
They're boys from hell. Boys from hell.
Yes.
Got him.
Very nice.
That's interesting news.
Yeah. So... And there was a lot of like people in the industry. The different articles are saying that it's because of this merger with Warner Media and everything.
Right.
But a lot of people that are actually working in the industry, comics people, are speculating that it's actually because through the pandemic, Diamond, the distributor for like pretty much everybody that's anybody in comics,
Right.
any publisher, shut down completely for a little bit. And Marvel figured out a way to do stuff, but DC kind of got mad at them and was like, we're not going to publish through you anymore, and we're going to find somebody else. And they
Right.
apparently went to a distributor that people really don't like.
Interesting.
That is not, people just aren't a fan of. I don't really know that much about it. This is what I'm hearing through Tim, who runs Rainbow Comics here in Lincoln.
Shout out Rainbow Comics.
On 14th and Pine Lake. It's a great little shop.
Yes, sir.
A couple friendly folks that work in there.
I was just right by there. I got some Slarm Charkins, and you know,
I was just right by there. I got me some comic books.
that's what time were you there?
It was yesterday
Oh, okay.
or the day before that. I was there recently.
Yeah.
It was Saturday.
Oh,
Yep.
good one.
Thank
nice.
you.
Recently.
Yeah, but I was texting Tim and we're like, what happens if DC Comics like dies? Because like it's a lot bigger than this article makes it sound.
Right.
Like the people that are actually working under DC and have like exclusive contracts and everything are like, this is unprecedented.
Yeah.
And it's wild. So I'm hoping that my
Wild.
favorite comic book publisher doesn't like implode, because
Right.
I really love Batman and Superman and the Justice League and all
Right.
those other people. Green Lantern,
Very crazy.
various Green Lanterns, in fact, not just Hal Jordan, but
Right.
I actually like John Stewart quite a bit. Who's your favorite Green Lantern, Ben? Other than
the-
those two, name a third Green Lantern that you know.
The one that can like make the hammer.
They can all do that if they have the willpower. That is how the ring is powered.
So that would be it.
Okay, your favorite is definitely Guy Gardner. That is what we've decided.
Got it. Is it? Wait, what about the black one?
The Black Lanterns?
No.
That's a zombie.
No, not the Black Lantern.
Those
The
are
one-
zombie lanterns.
No, the green one that is black.
Oh, that's John Stewart.
Yeah, that one.
He's my favorite.
Oh, okay.
He's the one. Yeah, you can't choose him. He's my favorite.
Oh, well, okay.
We can't have the same favorite Green Lantern.
Well, okay, fine.
You get the everyone's lantern that everyone.
I just liked him because he was different than everyone else.
The lantern that everyone loves to hate, Guy Gardner.
Can I wait? What about who's the guy who did his film, like did the movie?
Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, that one. That's my
So
favorite.
do you want Ryan Reynolds or do you want Hal Jordan,
I mean,
the character that he plays,
the Hal Jordan. I don't know. I mean,
or do you
Ryan
want
Reynolds is
Alan
great.
Scott, the original Green Lantern from way back in the day?
Yeah, that one. Let's next piece. What's the
Okay,
next
so you
one?
get a silly red costume with a big cape.
Hey, I'm gonna make that look sexy, man.
I honestly really want to see that in the movies. There's
Me in the movie with a red costume on.
Yes,
and
that
a big
exactly.
Black cape. Oh,
There's rumors off and on of there being a Green Lantern in the Snyder Cut, and
Right.
like at one point it was confirmed. We do see a Green Lantern in the current version that we have in the war in the past, and it would be amazing if it was the Alan Scott one, where it's just like this ridiculous 1950s costume.
can we make our lanterns green?
Our lanterns?
Yeah, computer.
Turn all lights green.
Man, I feel so lanterny right now.
This is. I don't know
Green.
how I feel about this.
I don't mind this, man.
Sorry, I'm not sure.
Computer, turn on Showtime in Marshall's bedroom.
I kind of liked that.
I like this better though.
Okay.
Thank you.
For those of you who couldn't tell what was going on,
Hope you've enjoyed your Tuesday.
Hey, I hope you've enjoyed your Tuesday too.
That's great. I've never heard it do that one before.
Wow.
Hope you enjoy your Tuesday.
Yep.
Okay. I think that's all the news.
What's the next segment again?
It's just I don't know.
Oh. And the intro will play there.
Okay.
Apartment News, your number one source for news about Ben and Marshall's apartment. And now your host, live on Linux, Benjamin Earl Weber.
That's me, Benjamin Earl Weber. I am your host of the one and only place to get your apartment news about myself's and Marshall Parrish's apartment.
Yes.
This week we have a few interesting things. I haven't really thought through the segments. This is all going to be a little bit of an
I haven't
improv.
thought about it either.
But number one, my boy D Money has come to stay with us for quite a bit here.
Oh, Car Marcion.
Car Marcion. that's Car Marcion transforming.
That's the sound.
And to
Car
clarify
Marcion
this story,
transforming.
so
I don't think we need to clarify. I think we should leave it there.
oh, I don't have anything else to talk about.
But just the fact that he's here.
Well, Carl Marcion is here, and if he was in the building right now, I would have him come in here and put his beautiful voice on the podcast.
Is he out right
but
now?
He's
Is
not.
he gone?
He's door dashing at the moment.
Oh,
He's
big
getting that
sad.
money so he can move out of our house.
No, that's an important thing.
Yeah. But yeah, so he's here until the 21st. So, I mean, send some care packages for our boy D Money.
And for me.
And no, only for D Money.
Okay.
Or Carl Marcion.
Two different people.
Yes, yeah, exactly. Two different personas, two different people.
That way we get more
shout out to him. He did just win the national. Wait, hold on. He won the NBA Finals in his 2K17 My Career. He's been working at that for a long time.
Really?
And that's the only thing he's been playing since he's got here.
Oh,
and,
wow.
And he just finished it out. His rookie season, he won Rookie of the Year. So congratulations to him and
Is
the
this
Pacers.
the equivalent of getting Galactic Conquest in Battlefront 2?
Pretty much,
Okay.
yeah. He had to play through 82 games, and then
my gosh.
and then let's see, there's like 3 or 4 rounds of the playoffs, and at least 5 games each of those.
That's
so,
ball Marcion.
Yeah, and yeah. Anyway, so that's that apartment news.
Yeah.
Is there anything else happened in the apartment?
I don't think I have anything. Our boy out there was doing more brickwork.
Oh
Our
yeah,
bricklayer returned.
Yeah. Our wall is finished. It is complete.
Yeah.
Is complete now.
Yeah.
There were a bunch of broken bricks to start out with, so we had to
Boulevard
get
of
those
Broken
replaced.
Bricks.
Yes, and there was a bunch of drama with that because the bricks that we had chosen, Menards no longer made anymore. So yeah, so they were completely out, and they gave us a bunch of broken ones, so we couldn't finish it. So I guess somehow Josh or Josh's mom found some that are either similar or from the same batch.
Just stole them off some old lady's lawn.
Yep, that's probably what happened.
Yeah.
Other than that, we got some pasta.
We've been making pasta
Making
lately.
a lot of pasta, that's for sure.
Some would say too much.
Some would say too much pasta. But yeah, other than that, I think that's
Yeah.
the end of apartment news. And now you can play that outro. Wow, that was such a good outro.
Wow.
Man,
It'll
I'm
only
so
be
glad
there
we
if you're
put that
editing
in.
it.
I'm so
Because
glad we
I don't
put
have
that
it.
in.
I don't have that part.
The joke is that we never acknowledge it. Like,
Oh, it's not. It's always there.
that was so good.
The end.
Okay,
Let me get to my notes. Hold on.
now we're gonna dive into the movie. What you all came here to witness. What? How much time are we at?
I don't know. 31.
31.
Pretty good, actually. Here we go. We, this week, watched a movie. Last week, we also watched 2 movies. But this week, we watched a movie that is tangentially related to that movie.
Oh yeah.
One of those movies.
Rawhide.
Rawhide.
Nope.
Yeah!
IKIRU.
Yes. Which means...
Oh man, stupid boy.
Nope. That would be what it would be called if it stopped like halfway through.
I think it would like the adaptation from the Russian literature. I saw the cover of it and it said something like "dumb man" or just like really bluntly. Yeah, like I'm not even making that up. I can look that up, but
That's hilarious.
because the source material is Russian, weirdly enough.
Yeah. It's not like a direct adaptation though. Is
No,
it? It's
not at
like
all.
a just like an inspired script or
it's
something.
definitely inspired by certain Russian pieces of work.
Yeah,
but
which
it's
is very
not
Kurosawa in
a
general.
direct copy by any means.
It's
No.
like Yojimbo was like 4 different books and movies put together,
Right.
essentially. But yeah, we watched IKIRU, which means to live. That's what it most directly translates to, supposedly, according to the internet. I think it just said that also in the movie. I can't remember. I wrote it down after the
Probably.
fact. But it is also directed by Akira Kurosawa, just like Yojimbo from last week. But it does not star Toshiro Mifune. This one stars the man who I did not write his name down. So that's really
wow,
great.
great job.
Ooh, sorry.
Incredible job.
It's the same guy who is the main samurai in Seven Samurai, which we should watch that sometime.
Okay.
It is very good. It's just long. But
That's a lot. I mean, it's a lot of samurai, so you got to fit
there's
them
a
all
whole
in.
7 of them. Technically, there's like 8 or 9. It's crazy.
That seems like they messed with the movie title then.
It is a bit confusing. It's like the 3 Amigos because there's 4 of them, or the 3 Musketeers. There's 4 Musketeers.
Wait, what?
You didn't know that?
Maybe it's
Because
just been
there's
a
the
long
3
time.
original guys, and then there's one of them that's the new guy.
Oh,
So he's
Well,
like,
then
technically,
there's-
he's like chasing
there's
after
still
the 3
only
old
3
guys.
Musketeers.
Yeah, I guess.
at
I don't
any
know.
one given time.
There's 1,000 versions of that movie, and a few of them are good.
Okay.
So this is what IKIRU is about. This is a man who his name is
okay, that explains it.
his name is Kanji Watanabe. and it takes place in Japan.
1950s Japan. Yep.
Yes, and he works in public affairs in City Hall.
Yes. He's a government boy.
Exactly. He's a government bureaucrat. He's been doing it for
30 years.
30 years. He's coming up on 30 years without a single sick day, a single day off. And that's a huge accomplishment. Everyone is really proud of him, all these other bureaucrats. And
I mean, honestly, pretty good achievement.
It is really impressive.
I barely made it to work on time for a week straight.
Yep. Yeah. It's impressive, but kind of leads into the whole thing of the story that this has been his whole life up to this point. And the movie opens with him in a doctor's office, and he's talking to this other guy who's saying all this stuff like, well, I'm not here for anything really serious or anything, but man, I hear that if they tell you this and this and this, that it means that you have stomach cancer and you have 6 months to live.
Right.
And they say that it's just nothing and that you'll be fine, that it's just a temporary thing, but they're lying because they just want to spare you the pain and whatever. And so if that's what they say, then that's what that means. And he's like, that's that. You can tell on his face. He's a very quiet, timid man.
Right.
He doesn't have outgoing anything.
The performance was very heavily inspired by, and I might be a little bit wrong in what I'm saying here, but Japanese theater, or a style of Japanese theater. Where the movements, except for a few, are very, very played down and slow. So then when there are bursts of emotion, which there are at some points in this film, they kind of stand out and have a lot more weight and depth to them.
I can see that.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yep.
I like that. But yeah, he goes into the doctor's office, and the doctor is like, well, it's just this little nothing thing, and you're going to be fine.
He basically just says word for word what the guy in the waiting room said. If they say this, you have stomach cancer.
He's like, do I have stomach cancer? He's like, no, you're fine.
Nah, bro.
And then he walks out, and he's like,
you don't have stomach cancer.
But he has stomach cancer. It's like, yep, he's got 6 months to live. So he knows that this is what's happened to him, and that he's got,
the doctor said that.
Yeah. So he knows that he's going to die, essentially. Doctor. He knows that he's going to die, so he kind of goes into this, spiral essentially throughout the next 2/3 of the movie to some degree.
Yep.
Well, the first fourth is him spiraling. He starts to try to figure out what the heck do I do with my life? I've been wasting it up to this point. I don't know what to do. I've just been doing this nothing job for how long? So he kind of very quickly goes to the more worldly things. He starts drinking at a bar. He hasn't drank.
He's like,
yo,
I got 50,000 in my pocket, and I'm looking to drop some coin tonight.
That's the American Gen Z version of what he said,
right?
Essentially, and this guy's
I don't even know where to start.
Yeah, so this guy's like, we're gonna go and party. We're gonna go all over town. We're gonna do all the different stuff, and he goes, and that's what they do, and it very clearly doesn't satisfy him. And there's this heartbreaking scene at a cabaret or some kind of dance hall where he's just he's doing all right for a little bit. He gets a little bit of that high, and then just comes straight down.
Yep.
And
you can't drink your problems away, folks.
Yeah, he starts singing this song called "Life Is Short." I think it's called the Gondola Song. But it's this really sad song about how life is short and everything. And,
yep.
And in that moment, it's an extremely sad thing about how he's going to die and he thinks he's wasted his life and it's all over. And that is kind of where you as the audience sit up to that point. It definitely is very slow and pushes you into that place. I was not having a good time with this at that point in the movie.
Right.
At all.
Good time as in you were interested, or it was making you feel bad?
A little bit of both.
Yeah.
A little bit of both. Because it is very slow.
Yeah.
And I feel that's really the less interested part.
Yeah. Yeah.
But they're very intentionally trying to do that, I feel like. I think it was a very specific choice.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Yeah. So he decides, I'm going to go home. He's got a son who is kind of estranged from him, and his wife is dead, and that's his family. And his son's wife doesn't like him because he's just some wet noodle of a man, and he doesn't have a spine and everything like that. And she just wants his money.
Kind of a B
kind of
word,
a B,
man.
Yeah.
I did not like her at all. I was like, screw you, lady.
Yeah, because every time the son tries to actually care about his dad and move forward with him and everything, she like pushes him the other direction and kind of ruins that, which is unfortunate.
Screw her. She's my least favorite character.
Yeah. So
Which,
he's on his way home.
Again, I think is very intentional. We'll talk about that later.
He's on his way home, and on his way, a girl who works in public affairs, who is very clearly like the only person. She's young. She's probably like mid-20s, early 30s or something. And she is got all this life in her. She's very excited, extroverted, bubbly, and everything. And she's about to resign, but she needs him to sign the paper. So he's like, well, my seal is at home. Just come home and I'll sign it for you. But then it becomes this whole thing of like, well, how do I be like you? And he doesn't outright say that at first.
Yeah, right.
It's a lot of like, he just goes and like shows her the town and everything, and
first
hang
off,
out and tries to have fun.
It's important to say that like while they're back at his house or whatever, and he's giving her the seal of approval to quit, the maid walks in and like sees them holding hands, which apparently is a big deal.
Yeah.
And it's also like brought up that like he's never, gone out and found another, woman in this 30 years since his wife died or whatever. I don't know if it's been the entire 30 years, but at some point his wife died. And then out the window, the son and his wife see... Was that Car Marcion? I don't know. Weird sounds. But they see him and this girl like walking around, and to them he withdrew that 50,000 yen, and so they think that this girl's just trying to get his money.
Yeah, so they think that there's some kind of like affair happening here,
right?
Which there isn't.
No, not
it's
at all.
It's just a weird friendship, essentially,
right?
And it's just him trying to figure out how like she's so happy and what that is,
right?
And it kind of leads to this thing where she gets tired of him and like starts to feel weird about it, and they have this final thing of like, well, just like tell me why you are the way you are. I want to know. I'm dying. I want to know how you're the way you are. I don't want to waste the time that I have left.
Right.
And she's like, I don't freaking know. I just am. I'm sad sometimes too.
Right.
Like my life isn't perfect. Things go bad for me too. I'm in this weird dead end job. I was in that weird dead end job. I don't know what I'm doing with my life.
Right.
And it's this weird thing where like he kind of sees that like it's not from the outside her life is perfect,
right? But
you get to the inside and you see, well, like she has problems too.
Yep.
And that's kind of him figuring out that like his life can't be perfect. It's not going to be perfect, and he's not going to find that perfect fulfillment through that. And that at that point he's just like, well, what the heck do I do then?
Yep.
Like, how do I figure out what to do? And she talks about like, well,
rabbits.
So she talks about like this. I do this. This is fun. Like I find purpose through doing this thing. I create something.
Like her purpose is like she feels like she says she creates these like little rabbits that hop around. They're kind of these like toys.
She just has it in her pocket.
Yeah,
like,
that was pretty funny. And so then she shows it to him, and she's like, when I make these, I feel like I can connect with every baby in China. Like I can do something. I can tangibly.
I didn't catch that specific line. That's really cool.
Yeah. So she's like, that's how I find a little bit of fulfillment in what I do. And so she suggests to him that he makes something.
Yeah. So then an important thing that I forgot about, the very opening scene of this movie actually is you get to see the bureaucracy and how like everything is really
that's just kind of the undertone of the movie is
nothing.
That bureaucracy. It's like a commentary on bureaucracy as well.
And how like everything just is about like keeping everything the status quo, not actually pushing anything, just the politics of
so
nothing.
And at the beginning, there's these ladies that are trying to get a park built, and so then they get the runaround. So it's like, okay, go to Public Works. All right, now go to
Parks and Rec.
Now go to
sewage.
Yeah.
Hey, so he said
chemistry.
the same one.
So they give her the runaround, and that's the beginning of the movie.
They end up right back where they came from.
Right.
So they went to public affairs first.
Yep.
So he knows about that. So he thinks, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to get that park
Ferb,
made.
I know what we're going to do today.
I know what we're going to do this summer with this 365 days that I have left or whatever. 5 months at that point, I guess. And he decides, I'm going to get this park made. Yep. And then the movie makes us a very interesting and fantastic choice.
Yeah.
I absolutely love the way this is done. And I think if they did this the more traditional way, it wouldn't have worked half as well.
Yep.
They skip right to it's 5 months later and he's died.
Yep.
And you go and they are at his wake, and it's like the mayor and all these different people that worked in public affairs and public works and different people that worked in City Hall that knew him,
right,
and his family, and they're all kind of like telling the story. Like some news reporters show up and they're like, is it true that Mr. Watanabe like built this park and that everyone tried to stop him from doing it? And they're like, no, everyone did their part. This is bureaucracy. He barely had a part in it. He did nothing. It's like, but like, what we heard is that he did everything and you just placed him in the back and didn't even let him speak at the commissioning of the park or anything.
And it
they
was
were
like a presidential campaign, or it was a campaign speech.
Yeah, that was
re-elected.
just a campaign speech. If anything, it wasn't about the community, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, no, we all did our part. Everyone worked together. I'm waggling my finger like a mayor. And we did it together, I say. We're all in this together. That's the way they sound in Japan.
Yep.
And
they need to watch the movie.
Yeah,
that was it right there.
That's exactly what the movie is.
That was basically the soundbite
so
right
then
there.
it goes through this whole thing of them kind of like slowly talking about how he got the park made, and it cuts back and forth between the wake and him getting the park made.
Right.
And it's really fascinating the way that they do it. And I really, really liked it.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what I talked about when I told you beforehand that like this movie, it starts out and it's really hard to get into.
Right.
And it's really kind of like slow, but the end is the movie.
Right.
And that's where the whole thing comes together, where you get to see him making the park and doing all these things and like defying the mayor
Right.
to his face and everything.
Right.
He's like, well, can we do this? And he's like, no, we can't do that. And he goes and the mayor goes and sits down with his cronies and starts smoking a cigar. And Watanabe gets in his face and says something to the effect of, but what if we do?
Right.
And the mayor is like, what did you say to me? Like, it was major disrespect, and all these different departments are coming down on him because he's getting in their business.
Right.
And like, you can't make a park because we're Parks and Rec and you're public affairs, and that's not your job. That's our thing, and we don't want you to do that. And you get to see that this was him.
Right.
Everyone was working against him, and this is his accomplishment.
Yep.
And this is the thing that he finally got done, but no one can figure out why he did this.
Right.
Because he never told anyone that he had stomach cancer.
Yep.
He was about to tell his son, but then his son rebuked him without knowing all the full story or anything.
Yeah, and that's also, I mean, the feeling that you get a lot of times in this movie is that you want to go slap whoever's, somebody, you want to go slap someone in the face, whether it be, his son at that point where he's trying to explain it and they're like, well, we know what you're up to. You're just trying to give all your money away to that girl that you've been hanging out with. And then at the end of the movie, all the bureaucrats are like, well, actually, I did it. And you're like, bro, F you did not do crap. Like, your injustice meter goes like ding, 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 ding the entire time. And you're just like, you're like sitting there, you're like, man, if this man was right here right now, I would put my hands in his face real hard.
Because up to that point, like they're talking about, well, we all work together and everything. You slowly kind of get the sense that he did it mostly himself,
Right.
and then his co-workers start to come to terms with that, and they figure out he must have known that he was going to die.
Right.
And these are the reasons. And, he said this thing to me, and that was kind of weird. And that's why there was this weird sudden change, and he stopped coming to work 5 months ago and all
Right.
that, until he came back and was just on fire about making this park. So they figure out that he knew that he had cancer. Not that he knew he had cancer necessarily. They just knew that he died. They thought that he died of the cold because he died in the park.
Yeah, like the reporters are like, oh, was it a suicide? Was it a silent protest? Like,
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then the big thing that happens is a police officer comes in, and like his people are coming in because this guy is now like a community hero essentially for making this thing. All the women from the beginning come in and they mourn, and then they leave, and the policeman comes in and he tells his story of how he was walking by that night and thought that it was just some drunk guy. It was like, well, it's whatever, he's fine, it's some homeless man, it doesn't
Right.
matter. And he realized later that it was him, and he said, well, he was singing this song, and it was kind of weird that I just thought it was some drunk singing, and I didn't matter. And it's the same song from earlier, the Gondola song.
Yep.
And it now has a completely different meaning.
Right.
Completely different, where now, before it was about how he feels like he's wasted his life, and now it is, look at this, even in all of this like
Right.
pain and
Well,
suffering,
it's his
I'm able to
legacy.
do this
It's
thing.
his legacy, right.
Exactly. And like, I almost cried watching that specific, like that scene of just him in the snow, on the swing, in the park.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's beautiful. And that shot right there is why I want people to watch this movie. Like, it's so good, and it gives context to everything that they've been saying up to that point in the wake of like,
Right.
well, we all did it. It doesn't matter
Right.
what they think, that we all work together.
Right.
he did it.
Right.
He accomplished it, and that park is there.
Right.
And that's where the movie, like the final shot, I mean, well, a little bit more happens. You get to go, they go back to the public works area, and like at the wake, all of these guys are now drunkenly going, we're not going to waste our time. We're going to do everything we can. We're going to fulfill our public office, and we're going to be like Mr. Watanabe. We're going to follow his example. And then you get back to public affairs, and somebody comes in and is like, hey, can we do this thing? Can we get this thing made? And the first thing they do is they give him the runaround, and it's like, just tell him to go to this department. And the guy goes up there and tells him, and one of the dudes from the wake stands up and he's like, really? Like, this is what we're doing? And they're all resigned to it. And he just sits down.
Right.
And it's this heartbreaking thing of like, even though these people have that example, there's always going to be people that, even though they have this perfect example and they know it and they say it, they're going to do it. They don't, they ultimately, they still have to make that choice.
Right.
And it's like, man, it's just like sad, and it sucks.
Right.
That like, I don't know. It's hard to describe.
It's
The
a
whole
movie
end
about
of the movie
regret.
hit me really hard.
It's a movie about regret.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, this guy let his life pass him by, and then he has, 6 months to make the best out of it, and he figures out, at the end how to live, what he was missing.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, I think the way I viewed the end scene was like, it was almost like, it transformed from regret in the first time he sang it to advice.
Yeah.
And to say, again, that's his legacy. That's what he wants to leave behind. He says, here's my life. Take an example from it or don't. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Which the final shot is what really shows that off.
Right.
The one right before that with this scene is Kurosawa kind of going, there's always going to be people that ignore the message.
I was talking about the last shot.
No,
right.
I get you. It was Kurosawa saying like, well, there's always going to be people that ignore the message. They're doomed to repeat what he did, and they're going to find this out later in life. And hopefully...
Right.
At that point, they can remember all this and go and do that kind of thing again and everything. But you never know. But the final shot, then you get to see you. That scene puts you in that place of despair for a little bit again.
Right.
But then you get to see the finished park.
Yep.
And you get to see all of these kids playing, and the parents coming out and being like, "Come in for dinner," and it's just kids having a good time and being happy and playing. And like, it's the same thing with what she said about the bunnies, about how she like feels like she gets to care for every baby in Tokyo or whatever it is. And that's what Mr. Watanabe got to do.
Right.
And it's like he died happy, like having accomplished his mission, his goal. Mm-hmm. And yeah, that's what I don't know. That's what I have to say about that.
Yeah.
I think for me, I finished this movie. I watched it all in one sitting. So I'm like going through this whole thing, and I'm like, this is kind of dull. This isn't really going anywhere. Oh, this is kind of interesting. Oh, okay. Oh, man, what? Oh, man, now it's over.
Right.
And it ended, and I don't get this from a lot of movies, but I was just like, I feel a lot of things right now.
Right.
Like I'm angry, and I'm inspired, and I'm sad. Like... It's kind of trite to say like it was all the emotions, but like that's where I was at.
Right.
Where like I was really inspired by the story of Mr. Watanabe and how he was able to like seize that time and everything and move forward.
Right.
It's heartbreaking to see these guys who were like just doomed to repeat his story.
Right.
And then you just get mad to see the mayor and all these people that are just gonna continue to try to push another narrative, even though it ultimately doesn't matter.
Yep.
So I don't know. That's my piece.
Right. Yeah. I mean, like I said, I think the biggest themes that stuck out to me was, regret. And there's a lot of people who are going to regret a lot of things in their life that they didn't take advantage of or do or whatever. And it's a good reminder, a good wake up call.
It's in a weird way almost a cautionary tale.
It's 100% a cautionary tale.
Yeah.
And it's got a happy ending, but I think the reality is you see how close it could have been to not having a happy ending. And it also speaks to how adversity can be one of the best things to happen to you.
Sure.
I mean, this negative thing gave him the opportunity to live. Him dying
to live. IKIRU.
Right.
Gave him the opportunity to IKIRU.
Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, yeah, I'll have a surprising thing at the end here.
Oh, you are the mayor.
I am the mayor. It's been me all along.
Oh, no!
I built the park. It's my park.
No!
He didn't do anything.
I'm
It was
Mr.
all
Watanabe
me.
from the grave. Woo! That's what he sounds like in the movie.
Yeah, that's true.
Just kidding. He's a very quiet, timid man.
Yeah.
Not so in the Seven Samurai.
Yep.
He's a powerful samurai master.
Big boy samurai.
Ew. He's got a big bald head.
Yep. Yeah. Anyways,
Egg of a man.
there you go.
Yeah.
I guess that's the movie.
I'm trying to think if I have anything else to say about it. Like, it's one of Kurosawa's earlier movies, so it's not like particularly like beautifully shot necessarily in
that's-
comparison to like Yojimbo
There are
or
some
Seven
good
Samurai.
shots in it. There are some good shots, and I guess one of my favorite scenes, kind of to go back, would be the scene about when she talks about the bunnies and everything. The symbolism in that scene is pretty massive.
With how he moves over to the other side of the booth and everything like that. Or?
Well, not even that. What stuck out to me was you see in the background that there's a birthday party going on, and that really kind of signifies that life goes on. There, regardless of what you're going through, things are still going to keep happening. The world keeps moving, and that like you pair that with. Then also, that's one of those moments I was talking about where his emotion boils over. He starts moving. He starts emoting with his face.
Yeah, that's the first thing that I thought of when you said that was that scene.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that's one of the probably, if I had to pick a favorite scene throughout the movie, that would be probably my favorite one.
Yeah. Well, and then like as he's running out of the building with this like fresh new idea of like, this is what I'm going to do, they're singing Happy Birthday and everything. So it's like not only like life goes on, but like this is the literal birth of his new idea and his new lease on life.
Yeah, the score after that is just Happy Birthday for a while.
Yeah, it is.
It's funny.
It's really fun. I love the scores in Kurosawa's movies.
Yeah.
Because they're not like super
Overt,
musically complex
yeah.
necessarily. Like they're not like John Williams or Hans Zimmer, but they're fun and they serve the story.
Right. Yeah, no, they're very, very, very topical, very, very good storytelling elements.
Yeah. It was weird when Spider-Man showed up.
That was kind of odd.
Yeah.
He was like, yo, it's pizza time.
Because the Japanese Spider-Man TV series didn't happen until like the 70s.
Yeah, and I mean, there's really no continuity with that. But hey, you know what? Like you said, it was one of his first movies. Maybe the continuity wasn't, important.
I'm always for a giant mech battle.
Right, yeah. I mean, but like, why did they have to have like 7 mechs? It couldn't have just been like, him in a mech and like the mayor in a mech.
That's
like, why
true.
Do they have to have
we have to have Spider-Man and Leopard on, of course.
Right.
And then, was it a Megazord? I can't remember.
I think it was a Charizard.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
And then it evolved and it became a Squirtle.
Yeah.
That's how Pokemon work.
Yep.
They evolve and become a completely different Pokemon.
There were people trading Pokemon Go things at my shoot today after we wrapped, and they're like, okay, now we can trade Pokemon.
That's hilarious.
Hilarious.
People are getting back into it right now.
Yeah, I don't care.
I look at it every once in a while when I'm bored. There's a Pokestop at the church, so like if I'm walking by C-Wing, then I'll just like pick up some stuff. My bag is always full though because I don't actually play it that much.
It was fun. I enjoyed it for when I played it, but I think also I lacked the context and the nostalgia element that a lot of people had.
I had gotten into Pokemon like 6 months before Pokemon Go came out.
Oh,
so I was like
perfect for you.
Yeah, I was like barely.
You were on the hype train. You were on the up hype train, so that worked out.
So I was like this close to being a bandwagon.
Yeah,
but I already liked Pokemon, so I'm
Pokemon
lucky enough that I can be.
It was cool.
Yeah, I'm like
you can't like things that other people
this much hipster in the Pokemon world.
Love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I never ended up playing any of those. I actually do enjoy playing. I need to download an emulator on my phone again, and because I actually do
the old classics.
Yeah,
Red,
like
Blue.
it's actually a great way to pass the time. I really enjoy playing them.
Yeah. Dude, I got like a few of them on my DS. And you should actually play through them if I can find the charger somewhere.
Yeah, maybe I'll have to order a charger.
It's good. Yeah, I'm the one that I have is third party actually because I lost the other one.
Nice.
I'm really good at Nintendo.
Yeah, I would love to play that.
But I'm ready for the controversy. IKIRU, yes or no?
I'm gonna say a soft no.
Interesting.
Just because, like, I liked it.
Yeah.
But it's not enough for me to like feel like I can say yes, and I want to keep my integrity with my ratings.
Yeah, it's a hard rating system.
Yeah, for me it's a soft no.
Yeah.
Not that you shouldn't watch it. It's just that personally, I don't know if I would watch it again.
Yeah.
It didn't have.
I don't know that I would if I was gonna go and watch it on my. I don't know that I would do it on my own.
Right.
I would watch it to show it to someone.
Right. That makes sense. Yeah, it's just like I get it. I understand the story. I think it's a good story.
Yeah.
It didn't like it drew you in a lot. Like you at the end you felt so many emotions and it worked for you. It just didn't grab me. I don't know why. It just didn't. It didn't.
Did you watch it in 3D?
I watched it in 60.
Oh, well, that's why.
Oh, yeah, the 60 version. I've heard some interesting thoughts on it.
That's when they spit on you through the screen.
Yeah.
I say yes.
Yeah. Well, there
You
go.
might have guessed.
Wow.
But that's what I think of IKIRU. I don't think I have any other thoughts about it. I think that's everything. I mean, we already said yes and no.
That's true.
So we can't say any more thoughts
talk
about it. Except for we don't have a theme song for IMDb trivia, so that's what that was.
Ooh.
Except for IMDb trivia, I have a few different things.
Number 5. I'll take number 5 for $200.
I have 3.
Jack. Okay, what's number 1?
Okay. Just the defeat, the total defeat in your voice and on your face when you said that. Number five, please, Jack. There's only 3. That was the sound that should have accompanied the look on Ben's face. Okay, give me number 1.
Give anime. Edit some anime sounds in.
So the song sung by Kanji Watanabe in the bar is called Gondola no Uta, which translates to the Gondola Song. Written in 1915, it's a song about women and how they should find love before their time has run out.
You hear that, women? Find me.
Find freaking love. Ben is love. Ben is life.
Oh God.
I haven't thought about that in a long time, have you?
No.
I wonder if that's still on YouTube.
Is that like our generation's 2 Girls, 1 Cup?
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, that or Pizza Time.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Did I show you Pizza Time?
Like the OG pizza, like the
Ninja Turtles.
Yeah. I'm familiar with that.
Yeah.
Don't look that one up.
I can't remember who showed that. I think Dave might have showed that to me.
Really? Or was it? No, I showed it to Nate. That's why. Yeah. I don't know. I felt like it came from Southwest.
You know what? No, I don't think it was Dave. I think that because he showed me the cat with hands.
Oh, right.
Have you seen the cat with hands?
I don't know if I have.
Oh my gosh, Ben! It's the funniest video I've ever seen.
All right. Everybody
needs to look up the cat with hands. It's on YouTube. It's hilarious.
Got it.
It's very, very good. It's fantastic. Which then every time. There was an episode of Mabim Bam, My Brother and Me, where they talk about
I'm very uncomfortable with the room that
energy
we've created
in this energy room today.
Studio.
Yes, there was an episode of the podcast, not the TV show, where I think it was a Yahoo, where the question was, would you rather have a dog with hands? No, yeah, a dog with hands or a cat with a human face.
Oh man, that's a tough one.
Yeah, hand, dog, or face cat. We'll come back to that. Think about it, I guess. When Takashi Shimura rehearsed his singing of Song of the Gondola, director Akira Kurosawa instructed him to sing the song as if you were a stranger in a world where nobody believes you exist. That's sad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oof. Which, makes sense for the character. And one more piece.
Giving
Are you
that
ready?
Motivation.
Are you ready for the last one?
Jess.
Here it is. An aspect of this film's narrative that has puzzled many Western viewers is the question of why the doctors of the film's protagonist, the civil servant Watanabe, played by Takashi Shimura, decide not to inform him that he is suffering from terminal cancer, though he has inadvertently discovered the truth and has let his doctor know that he knows. But in his audio commentary to the film on the Criterion home video release, Kurosawa scholar Stephen Prince reveals that this decision reflects Japanese medical practice of the time. In early 1950s, a diagnosis of stomach cancer was regarded as a virtual death sentence, and it was feared that to reveal the truth to the patient would only aggravate the disease. As late as the 1980s, Prince states, Japanese medical journals were still debating the wisdom of this practice of medical non-disclosure, so a Japanese audience would not have found the doctor's behavior odd or unusual.
That's pretty fricked.
Yeah. Because, that was something that I was like, this is weird and strange.
I think there were a lot of interesting cultural things like that in the movie.
Yeah.
Just some things that, you're like, what?
Yeah.
Maybe I didn't get that one, but...
Yeah.
I want to do some research into Japanese and Chinese and Asian culture, to be honest. I'm fascinated with the, honor thing in their families, where it's, all about saving face and stuff. I want to understand that. Because in America, we're all like... Hey, we're number one, screw everybody else. You good over there? He's looking for something real intently, looking at his bookshelf like he's like it's got some good books on it. Now he took his headphones off. He's rotating around in his chair. He's leaning down, looking to the left. He's just said he's confused. He can't find it, and he just said that himself. I don't know what he's looking for. He's now coming over to my side of the podcast area and looking in his closet. Very confused. Now he's looking on the shelf that all the VR things are on. Oh, now he's looking under some other books on the floor. And now he's touching his shelf. And now he's looking back in his closet.
I'm seriously so confused.
He just said that he's seriously so confused. He has now gone over back towards his chair and is looking at the other bookshelf and running his hands over his books.
I swear I saw it.
He swears that he sees it, or that he saw it.
Like 5 freaking minutes
ago.
Not that recent.
Well, not that recently.
What the heck?
He doesn't know. He doesn't know what he's looking for or where it is. You know, he's now laughing. He's leaving the room. I am the only podcast host in the room at this moment. It is just me, boys. Welcome to the Ben Show. Today we're going to talk about, a few things that, I think are pretty important. First off, I want to talk about something that I saw on Twitter the other day. I think, I'm not going to name names here, but they were talking about, the debate between, maybe shooting your videos in 120 FPS so that you can always kind of get that slow motion. And he was pointing out that, if you render it out in a 30 FPS timeline, that, it's going to look similar, even if you expose the motion. So like, 1/20th, your shutter speed should be 1/240th, obviously. And I was thinking, if you're putting that in a 30 FPS timeline, regardless, even if you're only playing 30 frames a second back of those 200 or 120 that you captured, the motion blur is still not going to be correct no matter what you do, because even if you're only playing those 30 frames back, like I said, they're still going to have the same motion blur that they were captured at, because the shutter speed was 1/240, whereas it was supposed to be 1/60 if it's a 30 FPS timeline. Don't want to name names, but that was just wrong, and I figured that you guys should know about that too. But that's enough boringness for now. Marshall has now returned to the room, and he's still looking through his books. And he's just really intently looking, and this better be amazing for how much we're building up to this. Okay, what else should I talk about? Oh yeah, have you guys tried the new the $5 fill-up at Taco Bell? It's pretty dang good. It's the nacho, or it's the what is it called?
Grilled cheese burrito.
The grilled cheese burrito. It's got cheese on top. It's got some like Fritos in the middle of them, and some beef and some cheese, and it's a good burrito. It also I get it with a Baja Blast freeze. It comes with some of the. Oh, here's another thing about Taco Bell. Those little twisty things, the little I don't know what they're called specifically, but they're like spiral. He found it. And let me finish my thought here. There's these spiral like crunchy things. I don't know. Cinnamon twists. They're actually just straight up noodles, deep fried, and with
really,
yeah, like they're noodles. Yeah, it's kind of gross, and now I never want to eat any more of them again.
Life hack.
So you can make your own at home if you have some cinnamon sugar and noodles, and some oil. Marshall, what did you find?
I found my personal copy of the Bushido Code.
Ooh,
which is the text written like, gosh, how long ago? This is like it's old.
At least 2 years ago.
At least, yeah, for sure.
Pre-corona.
Is it written somewhere? 2013. Just kidding. 1900. First edition published in 1900. But this is kind of like a different version of basically of the Bushido Code. It's what the samurai based their lives off of, and it's really cool, and it's a pretty cool textbook version of it. I went looking for this one time at Barnes & Noble, and was looking for a different version of it, couldn't find it, didn't care, left. Was back however many months later, and just stumbled upon this really cool version of it, and was like, that's awesome. So I bought it. And now you should read it and look at it, and it's cool. It
occurs to me that this is an audio-only podcast. And
I took a picture of it.
Okay. But I just want to point out that you just spent 5 minutes, or 3 to 5 minutes, looking for that, to not even read an excerpt out of it, to not,
Should I?
No, it's over now. But I just wanted to point that out. He's trying to read an excerpt out of it now. Anyway, so I'll continue. The Taco Bell $5 fill-up is a great value, honestly.
Who's $5 fill-up?
It also comes with a regular taco, a hard shell one. I'm sure you could sub
Is he
it out
related
for
to $20 Tilly?
And, personally, I don't actually get any sauce with my Taco Bell order. I kind of am a no-sauce boy. I do like me some good sriracha, though. And that reminds me, another good fast food place to eat, Slam Charkins. I went there for lunch today, and, I had some of that good old sriracha garlic. And
Chapter 8, Honor. The sense of honor, implying a vivid consciousness of personal dignity and worth, could not fail to characterize the samurai, born and bred to value the duties and privileges of their profession. Though the word ordinarily given nowadays as the translation of honor was not used freely, yet the idea was conveyed by such terms as na, name, men moku, countenance, gai bun, outside hearing, reminding us of, respectively, of the biblical use of name, of the evolution of the term personality, from the Greek mask. And, so it's a textbook, essentially, but it's really cool. We'll see how much of this stays in the podcast, depending on who's editing it. I don't know.
nose goes.
So you do it then?
No.
You said nose goes, and then you touched your nose.
No, you have to touch your nose.
No nose goes would mean whoever doesn't do it has to do it.
So I didn't say that.
Exactly. So you have to.
No nose goes. Whatever.
That was about at the same time.
Unless you really want me to.
Well, I can do it.
It's on your big boy PC anyways. It's all hot and
That's true.
fresh to go. Good stuff. This is the end of the podcast now?
No.
Oh. What else do we have to do?
I don't know. What have you been watching, Ben?
Oh, yeah.
What you been watching, listening
We watched,
to, looking at, hearing, and looking at too?
Yourself, myself, and Car Marcion watched John Wick 3. Very good movie. Parabellum. What else have I been watching? Leafy is here. Already kind of talked about that.
Where?
Leafy. Oh, you want to know something else that's fun?
I guess.
So, Pokemon has a Discord server, and people are speedrunning how quick they can get banned from it.
That's amazing.
Because if you put Leafy in there, like it automatically bans you, or like anything to do with it, or like any of the commentary YouTubers have made any comments about her.
I love that.
Oh man, let me entertain them for a second. Let me go find my phone. I gotta find this. You'll appreciate it.
Okay. Had the time of my life, and I never felt this way before. I say it's the truth, and I owe it all to you. I had the time of my life, and I never felt this way before. I say it's the truth, and I owe it all to you.
All right, sorry.
I didn't know any more of that song, so I'm glad you're back.
It's not worth it. Sorry, guys.
We both had our journeys today.
Yeah, mine was shorter.
I don't know what I've been watching. I'm keeping up with Doom Patrol. I just finished watching Umbrella Academy season 2.
Love that for
better
us.
than season 1.
Oh, we watched. I watched a little bit of Cowboy Bebop.
Yes, you did, and I watched a little bit of Last Chance U. Yes, Last Chance U was a good time. I don't know that I'll go back to it, but I enjoyed it. And I would guess that you would say the same of Cowboy Bebop to some degree.
Yeah, I think we agree on that.
Yeah.
I did. Wait, did I already? Oh, I didn't talk about this. Last Chance U, the last season came out.
Yeah.
Binged the whole thing.
Last season or final season?
The
latest or final?
Latest, not technically final, but this is the last year that they're doing football. They're doing basketball next year, which is really sad and dumb.
Interesting.
But yeah, this one was probably my favorite season so far of the football ones.
Ooh.
Well, not my favorite season. Second favorite season. The first season has got to be the best, just because.
Just because all the pencils.
Yeah, Miss whatever her name is.
Miss Pencil.
Yeah, Miss Pencil. She's got a charity now. She tours across the country giving out free pencils.
Yeah.
That's not even a joke.
You get a pencil. Look under your chair. You get a pencil. I'm Sarah Seinfeld.
Oh yeah, Ellen got canceled too.
Yeah, that's nuts. I don't want to go into that. That's the whole thing. I did see like one of those gossip magazines, like People or whatever,
right.
Us, whatever. It was like something to the effect of Ellen forced out of her own show And then like down below in the bottom right corner is like Drew Barrymore and James Corden and some other third tier celebrity, like, who will take her place, vying for her spot. And like the main thing is this like massive, the most ugly picture of Ellen DeGeneres I've ever seen.
Well, it's from her like apology video or whatever.
Oh no, man, this was like, it looked like a meme.
Yeah, it was from the apology video.
Did she make an apology video?
I guess.
Like on
I haven't
YouTube?
seen it. I haven't seen it yet, but I think I know the photo you're referring to.
It was hilarious.
And she's just like distraught, like tears, like she looks like so old.
I wish I took a picture of it.
Yeah.
It was so good.
Anyways, well, is that
That's
the
what
end
I
of
have
the
to say
podcast?
about that. I think so. Did I say what I was watching?
Yeah.
What was I watching?
I don't know. Yeah, you do the thing because you got to start doing it.
Yep. Well, this has been our show and we've been doing. It's called Ben and Marshall Do a Podcast. We've done it for however long this has been. And Marshall Do a Podcast. I get it. Back to some of that classic comedy from the beginning.
Follow our Instagram.
If you want to talk to us about the show, you can find us on all kinds of platforms, such as Instagram at Ben and Marshall Do a Podcast on Instagram. I'm at @amparish_art on Instagram. Ben is
Ben with a lens.
on Instagram.
Yes.
Wow. We also have an email, benandmarshallpod@gmail.com. I swear I will check it eventually. So if you've been sending us emails,
If you've been, we should check
Weber-
it. We should check it right after this.
yeah, we should. Oh, hey, Ian McManus just started following us on Instagram.
Wow! Shout out Ian McManus.
Shout out Big Boy Ian.
Oh, big boy Ian. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Wait, was he Bezos?
He wants to send us a message. Hold on.
Hold on, this might be perfect.
Hold on. What's up, Duty? What's up, Duty?
Wait, FaceTime him or whatever.
Oh, yeah. Hold on. This is really difficult. Hold on.
You're gonna have to cut a lot of stuff out today.
He says, howdy, I'm listening live. No, you're not.
What?
I'm not in
This is
Discord
odd.
or anything. What does that mean? Primary.
Press the
Hold on.
press the button. Try.
I'm
and-
trying to find it.
It should be right on the top.
I can
of the
hear
DMs.
through Discord.
What?
Discord's not open.
That's so odd. Yeah, it's not open on your PC. What? And how can he even... The inputs wouldn't be right. This is so odd.
Hold on. I'm in the process of trying to message him or something. Hey,
Howdy.
Discord's not open.
Check this out.
What? What?
What is going on?
What the heck? I'm so confused.
As am I.
That's so weird.
I'm having fun listening now.
How long have you been listening?
Can you hear both of us?
Yeah.
What the heck?
For like a good 15 minutes or so.
This has been the most boring part of the podcast, too.
I'm so confused. If you're wondering why you're looking at my forehead right now, it's because I'm holding my phone up to the microphone.
Yeah, you're on the podcast now.
Whoa.
This is crazy. I legit look at
Yeah,
this.
you can look. You can
look.
like.
It's not open.
Wait, is it like not open at all?
No.
See that? Like it's. There's nothing there.
That's so strange.
Discord's not open right now.
That's such a...
Wait, and are you? So is he joined into a channel right now?
Yeah, so we're in Caldy Duder.
What the heck is going on? What a weird instance.
I should have been screen recording this. I could have put this in the video version.
That's
Dang
true.
it.
Oh well, take a screenshot.
There we go. A screenshot for Instagram.
Oof.
Wow.
Well,
This is an unprecedented event.
this has been. Yeah, welcome to the podcast. You made it on here before Caleb did.
That's true. Wow, Caleb's gonna cry. Just kidding. He's probably detailing a car right now.
Oof.
Wow. Well, thanks for listening, Ian. I guess we'll keep doing the podcast, and you can listen through Discord. Apparently.
Okay.
Okay. Have fun. See you next time.
Bye.
What?
I mean, I guess not bye because you can still hear us.
Yeah,
right
you're
now.
still talking.
That is the most odd thing.
How's the quality of your video chat? Poor. Very poor.
Yeah.
the heck?
Well,
What the heck?
That's so strange.
I'm so confused right now. Well, those are all the places you can find us. I think that's is that anything else that we're missing?
No, I don't think so. Leave us a 5-star review. It helps on iTunes.
Yes, on the iTunes. On iTunes.
If any other ones allow reviews, then cool. Do that one too.
And tell your friends about the show. If you think your friends would enjoy the show, if maybe they hate it, if they would hate it, definitely show it to them so you can make sure if they hate the show or not.
That's true.
But the best
you never know until you give it a shot.
If you're a fan of the show, the best way to spread the news, the best kind of marketing is word of mouth, because people love to hear what they hear from their friends that they know and
make
from
more
their mouths.
people some Dumbo Bryans.
Let me hear from your mouth what you think of the show.
Thank you for our existing Dumbo Bryans. We love you.
Thank you, Dumbo Bryans. We love you.
All
Caleb.
right, Caleb the Dumbo Bryan. Shout out Caleb.
And Ian, I guess.
Oh, yeah, true. You too.
Ian,
I guess he's listening to me right now.
You have to listen back to the rest of this.
I really hope that Ian can't hear me when I say that he's a big Dumbo Bryan.
Oh, the biggest.
Man, that would be unfortunate if you could hear everything that we were saying right now.
Yeah. Wow.
Well, you wanna end it?
Yeah, I guess I will. This has been Ben and Marshall Do a Podcast. I've been Marshall.
I've been.
The show is over. It is done. I have had a little bit of fun.
Yeah. My name is...
No, it's over.
Okay.